What's up YouTube? How you guys doing today? My name is Arnold, also known as Murder Birds, and today is my very first entry into my very new gaming series called Back in the Day Gameplay. The game that I'm providing for you guys right now is a match of Civil War, which is the traditional team deathmatch of other games in Bioshock 2. And this game is pretty awesome. I played this game when it first came out, and this is one of the really old, back-in-the-day type of games for me. It came out a few years ago, and it wasn't really that well-known. It was very underrated unless you were a fan of the Bioshock franchise, which I clearly was, having played the first, this one, and the recently Bioshock Infinite. Now, this game is very different. It has a very different type of atmosphere to it. The playing of the multiplayer has to do with somewhat of the story and the history of the world of Bioshock. And overall, it's just a really, really great game. Just to get into a little backstory here, I played the first game. And the first game was one of the very first single-player games that I played on the 360 when I first got one. And the experience was just so surreal. Actually, when I played the game was very eerie and dark and mysterious, and I was actually kind of scared of the game just because back in the day, games like Resident Evil, especially 4, with like the music that jumps up and scares you. That's the type of feeling I got from this game. So I first borrowed it from a friend, and once I overcame my silly, fear of the game, I ended up getting it for myself. But the game is pretty awesome. The storyline is amazing, at least for the first game. And then the second game came along, which is this one, and the story did justice in a way, but it wasn't as, on point and dead on as the first one. And a lot of people say it's because of the multiplayer. Now, this game is the only Bioshock game to incorporate a multiplayer aspect, and a lot of people didn't like that. A lot of people were like, oh, you should have just left the multiplayer out. You could have contributed a lot more to the single player to make it a better experience for it to stack up with the first game. And overall, I like the multiplayer. I played a lot of the multiplayer when it first came out with a few friends of mine, and I've met a lot of people who actually played the game, and now I'm really close friends with them because of this game. Now, for the multiplayer portion, as you guys are watching, it's pretty basic. It's a third-person shooter, has a few different elements like turrets, and as I'm currently doing right now, I'm hacking, I'm researching my dead opponent and gaining some extra damage on him. But those are the few aspects that are different than a traditional shooter that you're supposed to just run and gun everybody. A lot of teamwork goes into this game, and a lot of different aspects of the game overall. Like, you can play as a Big Daddy, which is the really big, heavy-duty, big tanky enemies that are in the story of the game. And that's one of the other things that I really like about the game. This game, you're actually able to assume the role of a Big Daddy, not only in the storyline, but also but also the multiplayer as well, which I thought that was pretty cool. Now, as far as me incorporating this in a back-in-the-day gameplay, now, Bioshock Infinite is the most recent game that came out, and this game came out a few years ago, about 5 years ago, I want to say 4 or 5 years ago. And for me, this game does stack up, with the Call of Duty 4s and, the really old Halo 3s and the Gears of Wars, just because it wasn't something that everyone was playing, It wasn't something that, I could say, hey, you want to play Bioshock 2, and someone's like, oh, I don't have that game or something. Regardless of the fact, I played it a lot when it first came out, so I really enjoyed it. It was something that I got a few of my friends together. A lot of my friends actually played the game, some locally, some online, and we just had a blast with it. It was a game that was very, very underrated for the game that it was. It wasn't something that, you'd run out to the store and get it just to play the multiplayer like a ton of people do with Call of Duty or, Halo. But, I mean, Halo's more story-driven, so a lot more people play the story for Halo. But, that's mainly the reason why I picked this game out. If you ever, the Bioshock universe, regardless, even if you take out the multiplayer of this game, the Bioshock universe is amazing. You're playing, right now, we're playing in an underwater city. We're playing in, a hotel of an underwater city. So for those of you who don't know about Bioshock, it's a really, really incredible experience to get into if you haven't played the Bioshock series. It's a classic in my opinion, and it's one of the greatest Xbox games to come out. And it's also on PlayStation 3, so they spread the wealth for all gamers, so it's not necessarily exclusive. And for right now, I'm just finishing up this match. the multiplayer is pretty awesome too. There's a bunch of different playlists as well. You know, you have your traditional Civil War, which is considered a team deathmatch. You have your Survival of the Fittest, which is your 1v1, your free-for-alls, and they also have like some pretty cool ones too, like the Would You Kindly, which is a melee-only type of playlist, so everyone will be running around with like a wrench or you know, a barbed wired pole, and you know, just have to kill each other with melee weapons. So this game is really different in the aspect of multiplayer. You know, it tries to find different ways of incorporating the single player aspects with the multiplayer aspects, so you're not, you know, so it doesn't feel like every other type of game out there, which is why I credit it, and the reason why I'm incorporating it as the first in my new series, because I just had an amazing time with it, and I feel that it deserves this credit to be in my new series. There will be a ton of more games, you guys. Like I said in my previous 2 videos, I'm definitely going to get down into the nitty-gritty of the games that deserve to be up on here, and even some that, you know, maybe I don't even know. So if you guys have any games or suggestions that I should incorporate in this series, let me know. If you guys enjoyed this video, please be sure to drop a like if you did. It'll let other people know, as well as myself, that you guys enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you later. Peace out, guys.